YouTube, it's Erin, and I am the Handbag Housewife, and I'm back again with another video. Today's video is going to be a collection video. I'm going to show you my entire Gucci handbag collection. And I have a variety of colors, leathers, and hardware that I'd like to show, as well as different quilting patterns. Each and every one of my bags is from the Marmont line, but I have a couple different styles, so I thought it would be fun just to show you all of them in one video. Now first, I want to show you my bag of the day, which is this beautiful green Gucci small shoulder bag from the Marmont line. Now, if I haven't said already, all of these bags are from the Marmont line. I have an affinity for this particular line from Gucci. I love the feeling of the leather, and I love the hardware, and I like how the G's are. There's just a lot to love. And so I started with one, and now I have 6. But like I said, there's lots of differences that we're going to go over. This was my bag of the day yesterday. I'm actually wearing a sweater right now because I spilled an entire hot cup of coffee on myself from here all the way down to my belly button, and I'm all bandaged up. It's very painful, and I don't know, this is a little trick if you didn't know it, but you can apply toothpaste to burns as long as it's like a pasty toothpaste and not a clear toothpaste. And so I did that, and I've got pads of like gauze on me with tape over them all the way down my front, so I figured I'd wear a sweater for today's video. But the toothpaste does take the sting out of a burn, and it seems to keep it from blistering up a lot of times in my experience. And so that's just a little hack if you didn't know about it, because most of the time, even if you're traveling, you at least have toothpaste with you. I learned it from a gal on my honeymoon when I burned my fingers on my flat iron and I was in absolute misery. And I applied, I think it was some Crest, but Aquafresh works too, as long as it's not the gel kind. It's got to have that white color to it. So back to the Gucci bags. I do not know the name of this color. I tried to look it up. It's no longer available on the Gucci website. But when I got it because of a whole snafu with getting a white or ivory colored flap style shoulder bag and finding out that it had some damage to it. And this was the bag I got in exchange for that one from the Gucci boutique in Boca Raton, Florida. And I love the color of this bag. I don't use it a ton, but oh my gosh, I love it. I don't use any of my bags a ton, really. I'm going to switch today from this bag to one of my long shot bags. I'm going to a soccer game. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out what's inside of here, and then I'll show you the bag in more detail, and then we'll move on to the others. I did notice yesterday that this bag felt a little dry. The leather didn't feel as good as what I'm used to with the Marmont line. So I decided that I would moisturize it. And it popped into my head that I had recently received a gift from Djessa Lux, a company that's based out of the UK, and a company that I also buy a lot of hardware protectors from. So they sent me this gift, and it was wrapped absolutely beautifully, and I have disassembled all of that, but it comes in the cool box that you see here, and within it there's some leather care products. I have 3 bottles. I have a leather protecting spray, which is the 3rd step, and then I also have a cleanser and a conditioner. They also included these cleaning wipes, and I decided I would use the cleaning wipes on the bag, and then I would apply the conditioner. And so what I did is I did the cleaning wipes, I wiped it down afterwards with a soft cloth, then I applied the conditioner by putting it on one of these soft cloths that they included that are disposable. And then I buffed it afterwards with like a microfiber soft cloth. And after that, I let it sit overnight. And when I came back to it this morning, it is so much softer and more supple feeling than it was yesterday when I used it. It also has a nice sheen to it, and I'm really just loving how those products made my bag feel. One of the things that this bag does up at the top is it wrinkles, because when you get in and out of the bag, you pull it open like this or like this, and particularly right along those edges, you get some wrinkles. And I was a little bit concerned about the wrinkling before I did this moisturizing, and now it feels so much better up here at the top. So I do recommend the Djessa Lux products that I've tried so far, the cleanser as well as the leather conditioner. So my bag is feeling amazing. I do want to show it to you. The shoulder style comes with a long strap with chains that connect the side bits. And I wish it was detachable, but sadly it's not. This style has a long tassel to open and close it, and I do find that very convenient for opening and closing. The zipper's very smooth. Now on the strap, I have it adjusted right in the middle. It's a little long, and I would probably adjust it slightly shorter, but I don't like the fact that the tail would have the chance to flare out then, because this second keeper here is fixed. So I generally wear this bag crossbody. I'm 5'8", about 145 pounds on a good day. And so whenever I wear this crossbody, it's a little on the long side for me for a crossbody. But I think it hits where most people my height would like a crossbody to hit. And so given that, it does have some flexibility with height, because I could make it too shorter or too longer. Now the older style of the Marmont camera bag, and again, this is called the Gucci Marmont small shoulder bag on the website, but I'm going to call it the camera bag. The older style used to have a GG quilted into the back within the chevron pattern. And I had a red one at one time that had that, and I also had a porcelain rose one in this style prior to my channel that also had that. I sold the porcelain rose one before I ever started my channel. I don't know what it was, but I just didn't like it then. Now, I would love it now if I had it, but I'll get to that here in a minute. This bag, I prefer it to not have the GG. I just feel like it makes it a little bit more quiet luxury, and that's sort of a thing right now, but I do like the GG too. I would be fine with it either way. When you open it up, I have a Zumani organizer inside, and I kind of have my stuff jumbled up at the top at the moment, but I'm going to go ahead and pull everything out, and then I'm going to stick those items into my Longchamp bag. And you saw that it was pretty full when I gave you that little peek. You can see now the Zumani organizer fits quite well. I use these little, I don't know what you would call them, like little slip felt pockets that are sent to me with organizers. I use them to hold cards in a bag where I have limited space. And that's the case with this bag, and also with the Longchamp I'm going to switch into. And again, I'm just pulling everything out. So now the bag's totally empty. You can see that the camera style has a pocket that's leather on the back. It's lined with a soft microfiber lining. Here is the insert. It matches the lining quite well. I like the pocket configuration. I just feel like Zumani stitches their inserts very nicely. And of course, I have a base shaper inside from M Boutique Australia. There's one of these base shapers in each and every bag that I'm going to show you today. This is the only one that I didn't color coordinate to the bag because I had it from when I had my red Gucci Marmont, and I figured it would be okay. It's like a Christmas bag. And I put this on top anyway, so you can't see it. But that just keeps the structure from bottoming out when you squeeze the bag, and I really think that they are essential to keep these bags looking nice. Both this style and the other style I'm going to show you in a minute. So the organizer I would recommend for both styles of bags would be from Zumani. I also like Joyinbag for the other style I'm going to show you. So I think that's all I have to say about this bag. I do not know the name of the color. I'm calling it green. I tried to find it ahead of time, but I couldn't. So we'll just have to go with green for this one. I think of it as like a sage green though. I have two other bags in the camera style, and this one is in the color brown, and it has diagonal quilting. It's in more of like a glazed kind of leather, and it feels very different. It feels more durable. You can kind of see that it has texture in comparison to the other ones that I will show you today. This leather is different than all of the others, and I like it for that reason. I did want to point out that sometimes the hardware on the zipper doesn't match the hardware on these bags. Like for instance, this is almost a blackened type hardware, and that's not tarnished. That's the way that it came. But this bag is laid out exactly the same as the one I just showed you, except for the quilting pattern and of course the leather type. The interior has the same color of lining, as you can see. And I guess I just did find one difference. Right here, the pocket on the bag that I just showed you is in leather, and this one is in that microfiber and just has the tab there at the top. My third and final camera style Marmont bag, just like, woo, little whip action today. This one I think is in the color deep gray. That's what I found when I looked on Fashion File. When I bought it, it came from Matches Fashion via a personal shopper that I love to use, and her name is Shani Matthews, also Djessa Lux on Instagram. And she helped me get this one at quite a discount. And I think it's such a beautiful shade of gray. And I do want to point out the quilting pattern is different. It does not have any GG on the back. And it is a aged silver hardware instead of the aged brass hardware that you just saw on the first two bags. Other than that, it is laid out the same. And it does have that leather pocket on the inside instead of the microfiber one. Each and every one of the bags from the Marmont line has a light colored microfiber interior. And because of that, I do like to protect them with one of the organizers. But not only that, the organizers are just so nice for being able to keep things from being as jumbled in your bag. I say that, and of course, when I showed it to you, it looked like a hot mess. But that's just because I kind of crammed everything in there in a hurry. So I told you that I had the porcelain rose camera style. Now this bag is also called the small shoulder bag on the Gucci website and has a convertible chain strap that you can wear either crossbody or on the shoulder. The quilting pattern on all three of my bags in this style is the same, but I do have some hardware differences and of course color differences to show you. Now you can use this bag crossbody, but I tend to use it on my shoulder. It's just comfortable for me that way. And I also really worry about getting a point on the top of the flap by wearing it crossbody. I've seen that a lot when I look at pre-loved ones, and it doesn't look that good when the bag it has a sharp point at the top. And I think that happens whenever you have it pulled like that. And so for that reason, I'm sticking with the shoulder style when I wear it. The first time I ever opened one of these bags, I was at a Gucci boutique, and it was kind of an embarrassing experience because I was trying to pull it open like it was a magnet, which it definitely was not, and they weren't really helping me. And finally, I figured out that it's actually a little lock where you push this button right here, and then it will come open easily. You don't have to pull on it real hard. The inserts I have for all three of my flap style Marmonts are from Joyinbag. She makes a nice thick insert. It's a business I found on Etsy, and I can link it down below. If I got another one at this point, I would probably get it from Zumani. I just really like their organizers. But if you like a really thick organizer, these are certainly nice. And once again, I do have the base shaper underneath from M Boutique Australia, and that is to keep it from collapsing. This style has one pocket with a zipper, so that's different than the camera style. And I do use those pockets, and I also use the pockets on the organizer. My favorite pocket configuration is to have two on each side. And if I can get that pocket configuration, I try to do that most every time. Sometimes I'll do two on one side and then one longer one. It kind of depends on if the bag has a pocket itself or not, because I do like a longer one for coupons, cash, and receipts. So the last one, the color is called Porcelain Rose. This next one is called Wild Rose, and it is a beautiful shade of pink. Oh my goodness, I love this color. So, so pretty. I love it with the silver hardware, and that's another difference. This silver hardware is not the same as the silver hardware that I showed you on the camera style bag. You can see up close that the camera style is more of a brushed silver, and then the silver on the convertible shoulder bag up front, it's more of a shiny silver. It does have a little bit of tarnishing, which is intentional around the edges of the GG. I don't know if my camera will pick it up, but it's just like right in the crook of the letter G on each of these. And if the camera picks it up, you may also notice that I have some stickers on the GG on this one. It's the only shiny GG that I have. All the rest are antiqued, and I never really feel the need to put a hardware protector on antiqued metal. But since this one was shiny, at least on the top parts, and even the antique parts are still shiny, I thought I would try a protector from Handbag Lux. And I had trouble applying this protector because of the curve of the letters. So part of it's protected and part of it's not, because I wasn't happy having edges lifting. And so I just left the parts that stayed on well, and then the parts that didn't, they came off. It is a very transparent protector, so even though I don't have the whole thing protected, the parts I do, I don't think you can really tell from the parts that I don't, unless you're looking at it extremely close. So the convertible style, and I'm calling it convertible, Gucci just calls it the small shoulder bag, just like the camera style is called the small shoulder bag. It's very confusing because the only difference is the price according to the name, and it's a pretty big difference. I think these go for $25.50 and the others go, the camera style goes for $17.90 if I remember correctly. At one time, the camera style was closer to $1,000. It was like $1,200 maybe, and it has jumped way, way up, and this one has stayed pretty consistent. There's only been a small change. The back of these bags has a heart, and that is why, in addition to the difference in price, that when I bought my Porcelain Rose, that I got the camera style first because I didn't like the heart. But now I'm okay with the heart, so I have 3 of these. I'm obviously okay with the heart at this point. And it's on the inside anyway, and hearts are in. I mean, heart bags are in. I've talked about this before, so I'm living with the heart. A while back, M Boutique Australia sent me an insert for this one, and I promised I would show it, and I hadn't showed it yet. So let me show you. It's a beautiful pop of pink inside this beautiful pink bag, and I'm going to pull it out and just show you. If I don't have that in there, look at what will happen. But once it's back in, I'm squeezing it just the same, and you can tell it does not collapse. Now, this was a pre-owned bag I got from Fashion Files, so it's not as perfect on the sides as the bag that is Porcelain Rose, which I got brand new through Djessa Lux via Matches Fashion. This insert being nice and thick, so if I got one from Zumani, I already had these, or I would have them from Zumani. But if I got one from Zumani, I would definitely recommend the 2mm thickness, because it just really helps smooth out those sides and make it look like new. And so when you're buying these, what I recommend is, if they are pre-loved and you notice that they maybe are a bit flattened, really look for creasing up at the top and also right back here. Also look at the sides, see if there's any super noticeable creasing, and if there's not, you can reshape them and make them look way, way better. Enter the final bag in my Marmont collection, and that would be this beautiful green Gucci in the emerald green shade. And this one I picked up from Vestiaire Collective. It was my last purchase from Vestiaire. I no longer recommend Vestiaire, although I'm not ever sure I really recommended them, but I no longer buy from them. It is just too stressful. I've had fakes sent to me. I've had damaged items sent to me, extremely damaged items sent to me. and I'm just not going to order from them anymore. It's too hard on me psychologically to deal with the fallout when there's a problem. But this was a success. It came, though, completely flattened, and I worked on it with M Boutique base shapers, a Joyinbag insert, and then also I have a little bit of stuffing in the sides. And let me just show you what I mean. The sides here were really kind of dented in because the bag didn't have any stuffing when it was shipped to me. And so I have just folded a little bit of tissue and stuck it on the inside of that insert. And what that does is it keeps this smooth. And so others out there might not think putting tissue in your bag to make it nice and smooth on the sides is a good thing to do. It's kind of like stuffing your bra when you're growing up, but I feel like to make my bag look beautiful, it doesn't really add any weight. I can't see it with the insert in it anyway. So I am happy with the effect I got. And I feel like this bag is in pretty excellent condition since I have worked on her shape a little bit. So let me talk just a little bit about prices. These bags, like I said, I think they retail for $25.50. I did not pay close to that for any of them. The most I paid for one was $19.50 for the porcelain rose version. I think this one and the pink one were between like $1,500 and $1,700. And then the camera styles, they were closer to $1,000 for both the gray and the brown. And again, Djessa Lux helped me get those. That was before they did their price increase where they increased them up to $17.90. The only one that I really have gotten a bad deal on would be the light green one that I started with. And that was my last acquisition, and it was just a hot mess because I got the damaged bag that was final sale, even though the receipt didn't say final sale. And I had a hard time because they didn't have any more of those to send me a replacement. And so finally, I came up with a solution that I could just trade it for one of the camera style. I didn't really want to pay $25.50 to get another color of this style. And so what I did is I traded the white version of this with the silver hardware, the antique silver hardware for this bag. And I just told you this was the last one I picked up, but that's not true. The last one I picked up was the Wild Rose version from Fashion File. The Wild Rose version, when I purchased it, they were running a promotion where if you spent a certain amount, you got a $300 off coupon to use in the future. And that's how I got the Georges BB at such a steal. So that is all quite the mouthful. Now you know all about my Gucci Marmont collection. You know about the different leathers, which there's really just two, at least in my collection. You know about the different hardwares, which we went over 3, the shiny silver, the brushed silver, as well as the antique gold finish, like what is on this particular bag. And of course, we've seen 6 different colors and 2 different styles. So what a whirlwind. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there is the same. It's the @ then the Handbag Housewife, all lowercase. You can DM me there or you can email me at thehandbaghousewife@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.